wonderful internet friends, thank you once again for joining me in what has been an extended period of time, which is definitely something that I am about to address. Yes, I know, it's strange. I'm back once again in the film loft, the Geek Manor. This time though, I am not bringing you any kind of a film review, unfortunately, and it is probably due an explanation. So the question really is, where have I been this whole time? It's a long story. The last review that I did on this channel was my Spider-Man No Way Home review and the spoiler review. And while that did come out in what I felt was a timely manner, I was recently kind of falling behind on the prospect of getting film reviews out in a fashion that actually made sense for them to come out. Since the start of this year, it got through January and February, and there wasn't actually really a whole lot out that I felt like I wanted to see. So I felt a little bit at a loss for films to go and watch and review, because there wasn't really a whole lot coming out that pulled me in, that I really wanted to go and see. And then it got to March. March was the time when things started happening. We had the Batman come out, and I was excited for the Batman. And this is where things started happening. The weekend that the Batman came out, I went to a stag weekend for one of my friends who is getting married very soon. And to cut a long story short, I got sick. Really sick. So this stag weekend happened. To paint you a picture of what it was like, 16 guys all going to Brighton for a 3-day weekend. I was one of the only people there that wasn't drinking. 2 people on the weekend puked throughout the whole time. One of them was me. I left for the stag do with what I thought was just a regular kind of head cold. I felt kind of a little sniffly, a little bit run down, but I wasn't gonna let that spoil my fun. I was determined to go and have fun. And then the Saturday happened, and I was struggling with stamina and keeping myself going and having lung problems, and I genuinely thought that it was COVID, and I was testing the whole time. It wasn't. I don't know what it was. Some kind of flu, chest infection, whatever it was. It carried on for another week. By the end of that week, I had tested positive for COVID. I then spent 2 weeks fully testing positive. Now this is kind of the point that I wanted to start addressing, because I spent 3 weeks very unwell, and during this time my mental health did take a turn. I didn't really want to admit it at the time, but I feel like for the purposes of letting other people know that they aren't alone in feeling this way sometimes, I felt like it was important to say this. While I was unwell, I was isolating, I was keeping away from people. My girlfriend was at work every day, and I was in the house with not a lot to do. The house was spotless the entire time, because I was cleaning a lot. I was cleaning pretty much everything, because I didn't want anyone else to get infected. And during that time, even though I had things to do to keep me occupied, I didn't feel at my best. And it got to a point where I got lonely in a way, and so upset and down about not getting better and being so unwell that I actually couldn't picture good things happening to me. And while I am now a lot better than that, I am very much more back to health. I had very little to do. We couldn't record any of our podcasts because obviously we couldn't be too close, kind of talking into each other's faces. I sounded really bad because the coughing that I had was so bad. It took it out on my voice and my lungs, so we couldn't do any of that. I obviously couldn't go out and see films in public, so it got to a point where I was like, well, I guess I'm just never gonna see The Batman now. It's now on Amazon Prime. I can watch it now. Will I review it? Maybe, if there's enough call for it. I don't know. And then after that passed and I got back to my normal state, I had my birthday and I turned 35. So that happened, and I didn't really do a lot for it because I didn't really want to celebrate all that much. I was around people that I liked, I was around my family, I had people I loved near me. That was what was important to me at the time. Shortly after that, our dog got very, very unwell. You could probably hear her just then. She's still with us. She got very unwell. And that became a big priority for me for quite a while, was making sure that she got better and that the people that I loved and had around me had a support system for while she was unwell. So that, mixed with work, mixed with other projects that I needed to do, meant that my time was pretty much full, and I didn't really have a whole lot of time to kind of stop and think and process things. And I also feel that that's an important thing to do. That being said, keep your loved ones close, because these things are important as well. I guess basically the crux of what this video is to say is that I haven't stopped doing what I want to do. It's more just that I haven't had the physical time and space and capabilities of being able to do it. And while I feel let down in that, in myself, I feel like I am somewhat failing on that part, even though that's not really a thing that makes sense once you say it out loud. I'm not really failing anyone, I'm just not doing myself justice. And while that's still maybe equally as bad, it sounds like a lot more pressure putting on myself than it actually is. Essentially, what to expect from the future. Well, I will get back into the swing of things eventually, with any luck. I need to keep certain things as a priority. Obviously, you know, family, pets, loved ones, they need caring for, they need looking after, and these are the things that are important in real life, not just internet life. And I'm not saying that I'm never gonna do this, but it will probably be more sporadic. But overall, as far as the mental health message of this video goes, basically, don't underestimate or overestimate your own strength in your mental health, because I thought of myself as being able to handle quite a lot, and even I was surprised at how much I got affected by being unwell for a full 21 days and just not feeling better for a long time after that. Even once I started back up again, I still felt mentally like I wasn't my usual self. And it was strange because some of the people that I missed most were actually in very close physical vicinity to me, but it was the act of not being able to actually be near them. So do look after yourselves. Do what it takes to make yourself have that cheeriness, that hang on to that little bit that's important to you, that little glimmer of actually this actually may be the bottom of the barrel, but the only way out is up. So I will get out of that barrel eventually, because when you're at the bottom, you can only climb back up, and you need to help yourself and take help from other people to take that first step of getting out of that barrel. I, for the most part, am out of that barrel. I am free of it at the moment. There are some things that are still tying me to the barrel, but for the most part, we are out. But I know that other people out in the world maybe have their own barrels. Go look out for those people. And that is basically all I wanted to say with this. I am very much hoping to see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness when that does get released. As to whether I'll do a review of anything like Batman or Sonic 2 or, God forbid, Morbius. Jesus, that might actually have to be my second drunk review ever, because, whoo boy! As to whether those happen, that's still a little bit up in the air. I know that the weekend that Doctor Strange comes out, it's the same friend whose stag party I went on. It's the actual weekend of his wedding that weekend. So that's two films that have a release weekend that have both been taken up by the same friend. So thank you very much for that, but I'm totally kidding. Of course, he deserves all the best wishes in the world. But hopefully those will be hitting my channel very soon. Let's keep our fingers crossed. As for Doggo, update, yes, at the moment, she is doing very well. She's on some pills that are making her feel like a dog that's half her age, and even I'm struggling to keep up with how much energy she has at the moment. It's still an ongoing thing, but for the moment, yes, we do have our Doggo back. So that's a little bit of good news to end the video on. So, the films that I haven't seen: The Batman, Sonic 2, Morbius. Have you managed to go and see them? What did you think of them? Are they worth me making an effort to go and see and make some videos on? All comments are welcome in the comments section below. Let's talk nerdy. As always, if you've enjoyed what you've seen here and you would like to see some more, you can click right here to subscribe and see some more funky, fresh videos from yours truly. And don't forget, we are still releasing Back to the Reviewcher as a podcast. We are trying to keep up on our episodes despite me still having some voice problems every so often, but we're keeping on top of it. But until that point, do make sure that you look after yourselves out there, you look after each other, you look after your loved ones. You are all beautiful people and you all deserve to be looked after and looked out for in return. So go do so.